Hi everyone, it's Paul from Estate Agency Marketing. I basically help agents with their lead generation and digital marketing and things like that. Today I have a super guest, but before I introduce him and start asking his questions and about his expertise and experiences, please do me a favor and can you just quickly like and subscribe and to show your support. So press the like button, click the subscribe, and you can get lots more of these videos where I'm sharing tips and strategies, and I'm interviewing agents such as this beautiful gentleman next to me. And yeah, your support would be very appreciated. So I'm gonna get the clap thing ready.
Pretty good. I want the clap.
It's coming, ladies and gentlemen. Let me introduce you to Chris Durrant.
Yes. Love it.
Oh, I've got other things as well.
Oh, anyway, cool. What's more?
Off camera. I was going to have it, actually. I was going to have it so you weren't here, and I could do the intro myself, and then I could do the drum roll.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Bring you in, and then do the applause.
We've done that now.
I'll do it for the next one. I'll do it for the next one. Chris, how are you?
I'm good, mate. How are you? What's going on?
Not bad, thank you. Thanks for doing this for me and helping me and sparing your time. I appreciate you're probably very busy. I've got lots of questions for you.
Okay.
Have you had your caffeine and your Weetabix?
Well, I've had a pint of Pepsi Max earlier. That'll do. That's enough caffeine for me. So, yeah,
that'll do it. That'll do it. All right, let's get started. So the first one is. Basically, I've got notes to the right. Hey. If you see me hovering over here, it's because I'm reading there. I'm reading them. First one is, how did you get into estate agency in the first place?
Okay, so this is quite not a common story, but about 20 odd years ago, I was out of a job and I was applying for any jobs, and I saw an estate agency job come up. I didn't really want to be an estate agent. I just had to apply for the job because I didn't have one, and then got the job. Spent I don't know 2 hours talking to the director at the time about my trials and tribulations as a Club 1830 holiday rep. Got the job, and then 21 years later, from not wanting to be an estate agent, I'm now where I am today. So from not wanting to be an estate agent, it's turned into a quite a long career.
I have to say, you do always seem to enjoy your job, because quite often we have little we have like discussions because I work with you and I can you always sort of like, how are you, Paul? And I get the sense that you do actually enjoy your job. Obviously there's some hiccups sometimes, like we all have, but I do sense that you enjoy your job. So I think a while.
Yeah, well, I think though, where it's very, I don't know if the term is philosophical or what, but I think sometimes you just kind of meant to do something. It sounds a bit cheesy, doesn't it? But I, during COVID, I was going to give up and start doing some IT stuff because of loads of free courses, and actually this self-employed kind of role came along, and it kind of just kind of moved up a gear then. So but yeah, just like I say, for the difficult times, the ups and downs. You get through it, and then it's good. There's always good bit bad bits in every job. So I love the role. I do love it, and I think that comes through my work. So
good for you. Yeah. Nice. Wow. Well done, you. So since running your own business, because you can tell us a little bit about, like, you work at EXP, you're part of the EXP model. Like, when did you join EXP? But then since running your own business, what's the journey been like from the beginning of it to now?
So I think from the start, it was a case of I just wanted to see if I could do it. I think, I think it's obviously a big jump from being employed and have a salary to being self-employed. And that was obviously a big question at the start. And I actually was going to join EXP twice, bowed out on the first attempt. And then it wasn't until my mum turned around and gave me a small pot of money and said, look, have this and stop earning money for somebody else. So I kind of jumped on board, and it went obviously from there. I'm still doing it now. I think, what's the journey been like? I think it's kind of gone in stages. So the first couple of years was like just staying afloat. You know, and I got to like year 3, and it's like, well, actually, I'm still doing this, and I'm still in business, and I don't owe anyone anything. And then kind of from year 3 to 4, it's then obviously got better, and my mindset changed from just surviving to actually thinking, well, this is now kind of a viable business. And then obviously from years 4 to 5 has now been into the teams kind of set up with the XP. So as it's been an exciting ride, obviously loads of ups and downs. You know, just yesterday I was talking to somebody. 1 minute we're you know pulling no hair out, 'cause got no hair left with the situation, and then the next minute we're getting an offer on a house which is getting tied up. So it's a very exciting journey. It has been 5 years, 5 and a bit years now.
Did you have hair before you went self-employed?
I did not have hair. Well, I had hair when I started an estate agency. Back all those years ago, and the shock on my boss's face at the time when I came one day and had a shaved head was quite. I still remember his face now. I always tell people that I did have hair once before doing this job.
Yeah. All right. Oh, this is a big one. Was there a defining moment when things really took off? So you talked about you had those little different chapters. Was there a chapter?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I mean, I can actually look in we could go back to my actual sales. I was looking at this yesterday, my sales figures, where I think probably not last year, the year before, everything just kind of, my actual banked figures just doubled. It just went from a certain figure and bang, it was up to then to a 3-figure, quite a nice healthy 3-figure number. And that was about a year and a half, 2 years ago. I was just looking at it yesterday doing some accounting. I was like, oh yeah, that was the change from, it was like, I'll quote the figures, I think it was like 48 or 58,000 for a certain period, and then it jumped up to 118,000 in the next year. So it kind of rocketed then.
That's a good morning.
That was good.
I'm waiting for a morning like that.
Not hard work, but yeah, kind of. I think the groundwork has started, but I think the groundwork was paying off. The early days, the graft, the leaflets, the letter dropping, all the basic stuff just started to pay off.
Yeah, good for you. Cool. All right, that is the intro. So we're going to do a bit now about business, the business model, really, your business model. Okay, so what makes your business different to other typical local estate agents, and do you have a USP?
I think what I've got to look at this is probably, again, might sound cheesy, but it's actually caring. It's actually realizing that people are moving homes. They're not housing stock or units. And that might not be different to many, but it's certainly different to a hell of a lot. And just actually caring about people's situations. I think a lot of times in this job, people are just numbers and they're very small parts in their machine. But it's like, this is somebody's next move. And that's what I always portray, is that I'm here to look after people. I treat this as a coaching and guiding job in some respects. People don't do this every day, you know. So, you know, I do this every day, and I've seen all sorts of situations, and I'm still learning. There's still situations crop up, which even now, after 21 years, I'm still learning. But I think that's what I say. It might be different to everyone, but I think if you look at a lot of high streets, a lot of other estate agents, if you have that element of care and attention for people and their families and what's happening to them, how people are feeling, you know, on a Friday night when it's 7 o'clock and you've had a bad call with a bad survey, you know, you don't turn the phone off at 6 p.m. You know, you're sitting there helping them get through a certain situation. So that's what I think is different for me. And again, there's other agents out there, but for me, that's probably my USP for me. So. Yeah,
I think everyone will have something different. That's a very cool thing. With that caring thing, and this is very much sometimes agents will speak to me, and they'll probably speak to you as well, and they're struggling with what kind of content to come up with, and it is literally, who are your audience? What do they need from content? So strategies, tips, social proof, case studies, help, holding their hand, and then also your USP. So your USP amongst many, you just named caring. And then, you know, you'll be available pretty much right up until end of day kind of thing. Yeah, they're your USPs, you know. So that's your content. Obviously, you still put out your listings and you just sold and exchange of keys, all that obvious stuff. But then, yeah, that is basically, so when people are struggling with content, it's kind of like, who are my audience and who am I? And basically, how can I get that out so it's very clear to everyone. You know, if you want an agent that cares, I'm showing you through this content that I'm the one that cares, right? And they would totally want to see that.
And that's but what do people want to see as well? I think with that, because I don't tend to post I've just sold this house or I've just completed on this house, because I do believe some of the industry press is that people don't necessarily want to see that all the time, but they do want to know what's happening in their area, and they do want to know what's affecting their house prices. I think that's it's very, very key.
So there's a thing called a content marketing rule called the 80-20 rule. So 80% of the content's meant to be of value, and that could be educational, entertaining, and stuff like that. And then the 20% is that salesy sort of stuff. Okay, so with the 80%, anyone interested in buying a property would be interested in looking at properties on the market. So by putting out those properties that are just listed and stuff, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, because one, even I'm not looking to buy, but I can appreciate a decent looking property from a video at all, especially if it's just a short 90-second kind of video. But then, like you said, that educational stuff, the street of the week, the market updates, your predictions for April, and all that sort of stuff. That is the content giving them value. That's that 80%. You know, so
yeah. Basically. I think it's important. It's important. But again, because that's coaching and guiding. What people need to see. So
yeah. This next question, I can literally just answer this. Delete the rest of the video.
Okay, cool.
And this is it. This is the question. It's still early on. Where do you get most of your leads from right now?
Right now, so I have to be honest and say, right at this moment, most of the incoming leads are probably coming from what we're doing together in terms of lead generation.
From the meta
content that I'm creating, the meta ads, from what you're supposed targeting, is probably where, honestly, that's I'm quite astounded. Not astounded, but it's quite a surprise. But bang, it's another one. Another one. I don't know. I was shocked.
You're like, bloody hell, Paul's actually got me a lead.
There's that. I think that that and again, repeat business, but certainly, that's probably generating me. I looked back at it the other day and I was like, oh, okay, it's cool. So.
Well, I'm delighted that I can help you with that, and that's great. So thank you for sharing that, but also thank you for bringing me on and trusting me and things like that. So big up. I'll do an applause, but I think it's inappropriate. But let's talk about that referral stuff. That's also a good point. You sort of mentioned it, and then it went. So like referrals is basically you've done a great job from other clients. They're recommending you, or I don't know, past clients or stuff like that. You get quite a lot of referral work.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I've done a good job in the past, and I've had people coming back to me to resell properties. I had a situation recently where her mum had gone into care. And then so I got that property sold, and then just we're getting towards the end of that sale, sadly, very sadly, her relative had passed away. So she didn't go anywhere else, came straight back to me to sell a relative's property as well. But I've got other things. People I've sold. Got another one yesterday. A customer I've sold 2 houses for in Milton Keynes, and yesterday she's got a friend who needs help, and she passed my details on. So that was all in the last that was yesterday and recently. So again, it comes back to doing the good groundwork at the start, and I don't necessarily have to do a load of different types of marketing now, because there's a lot of groundwork which is taking care of a bulk of the stuff now.
And that momentum builds. The more people you're doing good work with, and they're experiencing your services and experiences behind that just grows. And then through the social media content that you put out, because you are very active with your socials, the organic stuff, and then the ad stuff content that I'm putting out, them combined, that's reaching thousands and thousands of people on a monthly basis as well. So just all of it, you're very much a present sort of a local property expert in your market. And so when people are eventually, some people might be seeing your content now through the ads or through the organic stuff or for a referral, they're like, I'm thinking of selling, but I'll put myself until, I don't know, whatever, 27, 2028, something like that. But by the time they're ready to make that decision, they've been consuming your content from wherever it's been. They've been consuming it for months, so it's already like it's a very easy decision for them to, at the very least, invite you over for a evaluation and a coffee kind of thing, you know.
Yeah, I was thinking that silent audience, isn't it?
Yeah,
silent audience. You never know where those leads are coming from, so you need to be present and out there in various different formats.
Yeah. Cool, nice one. Thanks for that. We are now moving on to marketing breakdown.
Oh, okay.
What's your overall marketing strategy right now? What's your overall
strategy? Do I have one? Do I have a marketing strategy? No, I don't think I really have a marketing strategy. The most marketing strategy I've got is talking with you, and that's really where it's headed at the minute. But I think for me, that's already come from a lot of groundwork previously done. You know,
yeah. I was actually speaking to someone about you. Sorry to interrupt. The other day, and I said, because we've been together, I want to say 3 months. Am I wrong? 3 months we've been working together?
How many invoices paid? I got paid the third invoice, I think.
So I think it's 3 months. And you're doing quite well. You know, there's still room to grow and stuff like that. But because you're actively, you're active, like you will send me content, but you'll also be actively putting content out onto your socials and stuff like that. So you're not one of those people that like, okay, let's just employ a marketing agency or marketing person or whatever, and then they just do it all, and then they just sit on their couch kind of thing. You're far from that. So, you know, you are saying, you know, I'm just doing what Paul's asked me to do, whatever it is, just from doing it for years, and like you said, the foundation, the stuff that you've got in place, and the routines and stuff you've got in place, you're already an active agent, I feel, you know.
Because I always think you never know where your next one's going to come from. You never know where the journey starts. So you as much as it's you know, it can be a bit of a chore sometimes to create something to put out. Sometimes you got to put in something out there which is relevant, but don't think about it too much. Yeah, as long as you're out there and your face is there, that's it. So
don't think about it. That is a key. How important is personal branding versus company branding?
Yeah, I mean, I think that ever growing. I think now with obviously what's happened in the estate agency market, and you know, the rise of the self-employed kind of thing, people are personal brands. You know, that's what they are, and as that grows, the thing I see is doing, for example, video content needs to get you out there, get your face there, because as more and more self-employed agents grow and they're all personal brands, you know, there's going to be more and more of these people all sitting there vying for advertising space. So I think it's very important to get yourself out there, but be credible and be relevant, and you know, be somebody who wants to assist and help people, not just kind of vanity things. You know, you've got to be out there. Somebody wants to, you know, it's a massive thing, selling or buying a home, isn't it? It needs to be treated that way. But I think come back to personal branding, massive and only getting bigger. You know, because obviously the bigger companies out there will move and deviate and change their marketing strategies, and but I think currently at the minute, I think personal branding is growing massively, isn't it? And even more so, be more important.
Yep, 100%. I mean, not only is that growing in the industry and stuff like that, but from with my marketing cap on, you know, when people hide behind a social media post and it's a graphic and it's the agency's logo, or even if it's a personal brand, but it's just their picture because they're a bit too shy or something to get the videos out, they're missing a trick. Getting a video out, I find if I was to go to Canva and I was going to come up with a quick Canva post, even if it's a pre-made template that I've used in the past, and it's a quick thing about, you know, my top tip for this or whatever it is, it's actually quicker to get your phone out, record it, than it is to actually do the graphic, and it's way more powerful. It gets more reach, but people will be like, I get Chris, I like Chris, he's present, like, you know, that you are the brand, even if you're not a self-employed. Let's say you're a high street agency and a team of 10 and that sort of stuff. I do always encourage, like, get a face of that business for the sales department, for the letting department, for the mortgage department, whatever else they've got. Get a face for those departments and have them producing that content kind of thing, you know.
Yeah.
People buy into that.
definitely. I mean, there's a large, I think Milton Keynes' largest independent agent. They've got a guy which jumps on there, and actually, do I like his videos? Probably not. But he's always there, and he's the same person. And there's they're a big, probably 25 staff office in central Milton Keynes, but they're getting out there and they're doing it. And I think the phrase is done beats perfect, isn't it? If you're just cracking on, they get, like you say, just a 30-second video done. If it's on your phone, it's done, and it's some of those poorest videos can be obviously big viewers. So
it's mad sometimes. You'll spend ages doing something and it doesn't do anywhere near as well as you're expecting it, and then suddenly you just do one whilst you wait for your son to school or something. It's just madness, And
people relate to that stuff as well. I've done videos before we're walking back from a school run when there's been things in the market changing, just a quick 30-second video, this is what's happening. It probably hits people. They resonate with that kind of stuff. So
what kind of video content do you do? I mean, obviously you do a lot for me, but this question is, how do you approach video content? But what kind of content do you do?
I think come back to that. Obviously, with my property videos, I try to do a very small intro to a property video. Obviously, a videographer and photographer, Will Watson, Harp and Reed. He does a lot of good stuff. It gives me a lot of hints as well, tips. But I try and keep that short and sweet, because I believe people want to see a house. They don't want to see somebody walking around. But put your face on there for a bit of personal branding, yes. But then I think then talking about what's happening in the marketplace, talking about, like I did one of the other day, I've got a house which is right near the lake. It's not next to the lake, but it's right near it. But I did it, got the end of the street, and advertising the property is here. Here's this property here. And then if I spin around, here's the lake here. Very rough kind of. And then helpful hints and tips. Just getting crack on with the older iPhone. Get yourself a decent mic of some variety, and just talk about the market, talk about what's going on, what you see happening. So that's kind of how I do it. You just get on and do it. Again, done beats perfect. Just get it done, because somebody will understand it and get it. Some people won't, but
so it's almost like it's not rocket science. The hardest bit is, like you're saying, just doing it. You can come up with a little. You spend 5 minutes just come up with okay, this is the kind of content I want to put out on a monthly basis. Okay, great. That's the easy job. The hardest bit is now just go out and do it.
Exactly. And sometimes, again, it doesn't have to be perfect. You look at all the people who do lots of video, they just get on there and do it. You've seen the amount of videos that go on, and people just sitting there walking down the street talking, but it's relevant information. But I think the key thing, and it obviously gets more eyeballs, doesn't it? So all right, here's another good question. Well, I think it is. It might be rubbish.
If someone gave you £1,000 to spend on your marketing tomorrow, where would it go?
I would probably what would I do? I would probably do a bit more. Okay, this maybe goes. I'll probably do a bit more. Spend a bit more in terms of creating like a series of videos, of helpful videos, but maybe do a bit more quality. So I'd probably, get a little bit of a studio or something, and just do a helpful hint series that looks really good, and then throw some money at the promotion of that, and then probably throw a lot more money at some targeted advertising as well. So probably create more video content than normal, but I have like a backlog of stuff that I could keep posting. But use it in the right way, and then pay for that to be pushed out there.
I love that. Like we have literally just talked about how the harder part of the content isn't coming up with the planner. It's actually about being active and getting it out. And you can literally don't have to overthink it. Get your phone out, do the record. And it's almost done, right? But and all of that was completely right. But what I do find with the ads, when someone spends half a day, just records a couple of videos, sends it to an editor, gets them do it, the shelf life on those videos and the results that they receive in terms of like engagement and leads coming through, they are great. Actually I see a lot of videos, right, obviously, and And I mean, even the ones that are just done by the phone, you can pause them and you can be like, you know, you're organized. Hopefully you're organized when you're creating these ads and campaigns and stuff on the back end of Meta. So you can easily just sort of go, oh, that one did really well. I'm gonna relaunch that one sort of 6 months down the line. So, and that's for any video. But these ones where they've just got a little bit more cream of the crop, or whatever that term is. Just made up one on the spot there. Are big. They're really good. So yeah, I totally agree. That's
I've seen a lot of people I know in the industry now are probably who do a lot of videos. They're now just kind of lifting that level a bit, where it's a fraction more professional. No, a lot more professional, and it's just it just complements the other stuff. It just shows a level of quality.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. All right, are you ready to be honest and give us some of your mistakes?
Well, yes, yeah. Is that the question? What's your mistake?
that wasn't the question. That was preparing me.
That was preparing me. Okay.
That's preparing you. Okay, what's a mistake you made early on that cost you time and money?
I'm always going to leave this one with getting caught, as I call it, in the 1% trap. When I was charging 1% at the start, sometimes including VAT, and then later plus VAT. And now I look back on it. One, there's some of those repeat business that I'm very fortunate to get, are now wanting their 1% plus VAT fees. And then, of course, it can make you busy for getting all these instructions and not having quality. So that is probably my mistake. I think, do you know what? I wish I'd not done that. And I wish I'd learned. I spent time learning about my value and learning to sell my value, which I think is very important. I think people should do that. There's plenty of free tutorials out there on how you can, understand your worth, but sell your worth in the right way, and then obviously get better fees. That's my one thing that I would say that I wish I'd never done, is get caught in the 1% trap. Oh, I can't charge more than 1% plus VAT. Oh no, can't possibly do that. I might lose the business. So yeah.
So how did you mentally? How did you? Was it a mental thing? Or was it just the end? You just got sick of it, and how did you manage to? Because people are terrified of doing it. It's a big thing, isn't it? In this industry, right?
The beauty about what we do within EXP and many other self-employed models is that you've got a lot of good people around you. If you're that kind of person, and I am a very social in this business, I do like to speak to other agents and stuff like that, even outside of EXP. And you just heard more and more conversation, people charging 1.5%, 2%. So it's completely doable. I think this dovetail into the last answer. Really, it's like, one, it was just a mental switch one day. I was like, no, I'm charging at least 1.5% plus VAT. But then that was also coupled in with training time and watching videos and listening to people of how to sell yourself in the right way, and how to sell yourself. I don't class myself that much of a sales agent, if you know what I mean. But coming across in the right way, and how you're going to help people, and that kind of just happened. It wasn't. It was like literally one day, bang. It was like I had to train myself, in that respect. It would build up to it. I just one day I went and bang, that's it. But I did spend time teaching myself again, because I don't think a lot of agents and their training programs teach you how to do that. I mean, I worked for a very good estate agency, and nobody actually sat us down one day and said, how are you going to help that person? How are you going to get them from A to B? It was all, we're open 7 days a week. We've got professional photographs. But when you get into the nitty gritty of selling yourself as how are you going to help these people move on in the next step of their life? That's when you can. So people don't argue now. They don't. It's fine. It's cool. Some people would obviously keep back on the feet, but that was it. It's just a light switch moment, really.
You've almost summed up a little bit of one of the cool things about EXP. I'm not on the payroll for EXP, and neither are you, right? But you're a business owner, independent business owner, okay, that's partnered with EXP, and there's other agencies that self-employed with the same sort of thing. But there's so much happening with the support and the training and the sessions and everyone's so open with EXP. Because you're hearing these other discussions over the course of the last 2 years or whatever, it's almost slowly dripping it into brainwashing, preparing you a little bit for it, because you're hearing it in conversations over various in-person meetings and online meetings and stuff that you'd have attended. So it's all it just helps, you know, you're surrounded by the right people to help you with those sort of decisions.
Do you know what, that's probably just quickly, so is when you get involved in this kind of part of the industry, there is so much content and information out there that you can learn from. You just have to ask and look in the right places.
You got to tap into it.
Yeah, link with the right people. Once you link with the right people in the industry, there's so much training content out there. It's all free. You don't have to pay for it. You can do. I know there's things I do pay for. I go to various different events and stuff, and I pay for those. But a lot of it that time I didn't have the money for. So you just educate yourself. Is the easy answer.
Yeah, nice one. Cool. What marketing strategies have completely flopped?
What marketing strategies have completely flopped? I think really at the earlier when I start to get a little bit more budget in the business, just clicking that boost button
on Facebook, that blue button.
On Facebook or Instagram, not having any strategy behind it. Yeah, it got me loads of probably vanity metrics maybe, but it didn't actually generate. I can't recall somebody messaging me and saying, I want a valuation. I think it was just a case of, that might work to get me more views. Which it did get a lot more views, but nothing came of it. So for me,
it's that vanity. It is that vanity stuff. It's a strange button. I haven't used it for years. I couldn't even tell you how the back end of that button looks anymore. When people sort of go, what's the difference? Well, I don't actually really know anymore. But it used to be, it's Facebook trying to make money from people's emotions, and people don't understand meta ads and Facebook and digital marketing and PPC and that sort of stuff. Okay, so it's just like, just going to boost that and job done. They should really get rid of it, because there's no. It's purely there for the Facebook can just make money off of someone who's less experienced and just on a quick emotion going, sod it, I'm going to click that and my life's going to get fixed. There's no. The only people that button helping in any way is Meta. Really.
No, exactly.
All right.
Exactly. It's an easy button, isn't it? But it doesn't work. Well, it doesn't work. It didn't work for me. So.
No, I think it works for anyone. What did you believe? What did you believe at the start that turned out to be wrong?
Probably that I could go into this and just sell a couple of houses a month and be okay and be all right. But what I realised after a bit of time is you can't just plateau, and it doesn't work. You've got to keep kind of whatever the curve is, whether it's that or you just got to keep pushing on. You can't just be content with selling a few houses. It doesn't. We might be able to. It didn't work for me, but I came into thinking, I could sell this many houses and I'll be okay. That'd be fine. But it kind of, if you do it right, I suppose it kind of pushes you on. If you lay the groundwork, it kind of naturally pushes you on, and you kind of like, now it's obviously for me, it's gone into teams and bringing on another agent because I was too busy to deal with everything. So it kind of, it quickly moved from I'm just going to sell a couple of houses a month to what it is now.
Yeah. We're going to talk about that in a bit more in a second, I think.
Cool.
If you could restart your business today, what would you do differently in the first 6 months?
I would probably, as we just said in the previous question about not get stuck. I'd educate myself from day one. I would spend more time training, which I didn't do because I've been in the job for 15 years. I didn't think I know everything, but I'm experienced. I know what I'm doing. So I would do that. Not charge 1% fees, and also probably for your ears, probably look at obviously Meta paid for advertising a lot better, a lot more closely, because it's brought the best instant results recently. So
cool. I'm not Meta. I can't remember if I said it earlier or not. It's not just the leads. I mean, obviously the leads is what you want and the agents want, and it's what I definitely want. But having that reach, like usually on average, over a 30-day period for a campaign, whatever that campaign is, it kind of depends the size of the city or the town and the locations and stuff. But on average, people will be seeing that ad campaign 2.5 times. Okay. And then the next month, when you might update it, or in 3 weeks' time, whatever, you update it, still the same audience. It's not like everyone just suddenly moved off and a load more people. It's still the same audience, and they'll be seeing it. So you're actually being seen, all the time by the right people, for when they are ready to be like, okay, let's speak to this person, this boy or girl agent. You know?
Yeah.
Mindset and growth.
Yeah. Okay.
I'd hate to answer this question.
Great. Cheers.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
I've got to go now. The phone's ringing.
Yeah. What separates successful agents from average ones, in your opinion?
I think I'm going to go with boring consistency. Right. I think people, doing the basic things, but doing it well, and consistently doing it. And I think also people who are really putting their customers first.
Mm-hmm.
I think forgetting, yes, we all run little businesses or whatever, but people who genuinely want to, people who genuinely want to help people in this segment. I think there's not enough emphasis on realizing who the most important people are in this whole thing. It's too much about property sales and unit numbers and what's your highest average fee and this, that, and the other. So I think doing, being consistent, doing the stuff which is boring, but doing it well. And I think there's people that are, as agents who are consistently doing, like, for example, direct mail letters, and they're, they're being good with their advertising, and but also coupled with, actually caring about the people that matter.
Yeah.
I think that's
wasn't that hard, actually, was it? I got terrified of it, but you
made
it easy.
Good.
What habits or routines have made the biggest difference for you?
So I have to probably revert back really with that time blocking. And I'm not going to say I'm the best at this, by the way. Habits and routines. When I was doing sort of direct mail letters, having time to do every day, doing direct mail letters, blocking out specific times for when I'm doing viewing sessions and admin sessions and stuff like that. But when I was doing a lot of direct mail, I was doing 10 letters every day religiously, because it's easy to do that. You can't. It's not like you're asking yourself to do 100 letters. But I think just settling yourself down and really blocking out certain amounts of time in your diary to do certain tasks, I think is very, very important, especially as you get busier and busier. There's certain fundamental tasks you got to do in the business, customer care, sales care, stuff like that. But then also concentrating on your business as well, which is a big one for me right now. Is then next stage is having time to work on my business and there's things I need to do now. So
you're trying to free up some time, are you?
I'm trying to free up some time. I'm lucky now. I'm obviously working with another agent directly that is helping me out, but that helps her out as well. And then it comes back to what it's saying. It's really focusing now. It's the next phase is going to a bit more. It's stopped just being me now, and it's into more of a business.
Nice.
And that involves a lot of things. Again, it's that plateau thing, isn't it? You can't just keep going. It's now the next phase of kind of.
It's that next chapter now, like you mentioned at the beginning. You're there now, aren't you? By the sounds of it.
Yeah. Well, that comes sort of pain and time needed to do stuff, but ultimately there's a goal at the end. So.
Yeah. How do you stay consistent when things are slow?
How to say? Well, that's just for me. Mental state is realizing that things do work as long as you stick at them. I think that's. I've done this for 5 and a bit years now, and I've seen the success, so I know myself. But sometimes what you'll do now doesn't actually have any kind of result until maybe a month later, 2 months later, 6 months later. But you've just got to. How do you stay consistent? You've just got to. If you want to do this kind of thing or be successful, it's not glamorous sometimes, isn't it? It's not always about the £1 million house that sells.
No,
it's just got to stick doing the same things but doing it well. So
be consistent and almost enjoy those little wins sometimes.
Definitely.
Don't all that adrenaline on like the big stuff. Enjoy the tiny little things, whatever it is.
Sometimes I don't think we do that. I don't think people look at little wins, that small instruction you get, or that house sale that's completed. Something I don't do enough is actually congratulate myself on when things go through, and actually that's been the hard work and it's done now. Those little pats on the back. So
yes, exactly. Yeah. Okay, what's been the hardest part of growing your business?
Time management.
Yeah.
Easy one, straightforward.
Yeah.
Straightforward. You know, this job has so many ups and downs and lefts and rights, and one minute you're doing this, then you're doing that. That's, I think, a big thing. I think a lot of the most successful people. There's a guy called Perry Power. I don't know if Perry Power. I mean, I don't claim to have taken on too much of his stuff, but one thing, he's got a very rigid diary, and he's a very, very successful estate agent. Some of the biggest agents in New York, you know, they're massively successful, and they still prospect, even though they're doing $1 million deals, $1 million deals every day, and they're still prospecting. Why do you have to prospect? Well, it's just what's making me the money. So yeah.
All right, we're going to do future plans, and then we've got. I'm excited about this here. We've got the quick fire round, and then you're free.
Okay.
You're free to enjoy the rest of your day. So, with future plans, what's next for you and the business?
Probably, well, I think the business is what you said. It's actually just pushing it into a more business-minded thing. It's not just me anymore. There's other people's thing. There's another probably rebrand coming on the books, because I changed from my EXP thing into Chris around estate agents quite quickly. Also bringing another 1 or 2 agents on board to work with me as well on their own self-employed basis. So yeah, that's probably the progress is there, as long as the market obviously remains okay despite what's going on right at this time. But that's the next plan. Push it on as more a business, and keep expanding a little bit.
Nice. I have full faith in you.
Yeah.
Like you said, you've constantly been growing. You've constantly been growing, haven't you? Really. So
yeah, I've done it right, man. I've done 5 every year's got better sales figure wise. Well, if you look at the figures behind the business, it's always increased. I've not had a year dip. So
yeah, good, nice. Well, long may that stay. I'm touching wood. Okay.
Cool.
How do you think estate agency will change over the next few years?
I can see pretty cheesy today, sort of very obvious. There's the growth, the bigger growth of the self-employed segment. Obviously, the high street is always going to be there. Hopefully, a little bit more collaboration between the two. What is two clear sides? I think people from the self-employed model always berating the high street model and vice versa. I'm not one of those people. I just think there's place for everyone. But I certainly think that it's now proven it's working in many respects. It's hard work, but I think there'll be the growth of the self-employed model more once it gets more and more out there. So yeah. Just
on that, have you ever read the comments whenever any industry online blog, like Property Industry Eye, for example? Have you ever read someone did an article about a self-employed or something, and then have you ever read the comments at the bottom? They're just fantastic.
Sometimes.
Just amazing. Like,
grab
yourself a coffee and
popcorn maybe. It's the thing is, I think it always starts out like that, doesn't it? People sort of slating each other, but then you realise you're all in the same industry, and there's good agents and bad agents on both sides. The quicker people just start to sort of collaborate with people a lot more, then I just think the customers do better. You know, it's one of the that's what I always think. Customers win. Customers need to win out of this.
Of course. Yeah, I can agree. More. All right, quick fire round.
Okay. Quick fire, quick answers. Yes, no.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
Or is it quick fire? That's it. Is it done? Love it.
I'm having too much fun. Best lead source right now.
Easy. Inbound is what we're doing together. I've got to say, it sounds, maybe we're on this video call together, but yeah, it's generated me probably, I don't know, in the last 6 weeks, 8 or 9 valuations and probably 3 or 4 instructions.
Nice. So inbound, fake meta ads, video content, and the videos and stuff you're producing.
Video content, yeah.
One marketing tip every estate agent should follow.
God, it's going to sound really boring. One marketing tip every estate agent should follow. I'm going to say be consistent with what you're doing. I think just keep at it, no matter, if you don't not seeing a result this week, it might give you a result next week or the week after.
Yeah.
So,
biggest waste of money in estate agency?
For me, it's the 3D visual tour things. I just think they're rubbish. I never use them. People have tried to sell them to me, but no, I just think they're soulless. I think a video content, which should be a bit of cinematographic, should be.
Yeah.
People like to look at good things, and I think a nice quality video is much better than a 3D walkthrough.
Yeah. Fair enough. I agree. One tool you can't live without.
Probably a decent CRM system.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think the system we use in EXP is fantastic. Always ever growing, ever pushing on. But as long as we're using it the right way as well.
Yeah.
Data capturing. So
yeah. And the final one, advice to a new agent starting on their own, for example.
We've probably spoke about this before. No. But you know what? I'm going to change what I was thinking early on. I was going to say don't charge too low. Charge what you're worth. Be worth what you charge. Educate yourself. I would tell. Actually, it's probably. I'm just thinking about it now. I would say there's again come back to that. The people that are out there in the industry, content that's about there in this industry, get on, and you will have loads of time to learn, and then obviously, sell your worth is probably the best thing to say.
Yeah. Education is the one that ticks all the boxes, then, isn't it? You're going to learn about increasing your fees and your mindsets and anything else that the people that are surrounded you will be educating you. So yeah,
and there's a lot of people in the industry that I know they're more than happy to give away their knowledge, and this is stuff that they normally charge for stuff. But if you get to know them on LinkedIn and stuff like that, then they'll happily help you out for a bit of money.
Actually, on that, I've got another question. EXP, okay, I've been involved with EXP since 2020, and it's very giving. Like, do you need help? You got any questions? Call me. Now, there could actually be 2 agents or a group of 10 agents within the same location, right? But they're always sharing experiences and tips and advice and that sort of stuff. Yeah. They see the value in that.
Yeah.
Would you get that from 2 rival agencies on the high street?
I wouldn't say not so much. Maybe more so, yes, but not as much. I think when I first started estate agency, with the other estate agents, you were sworn enemies. You walked on the other side of the street.
Back in the day, yeah.
But I think much like anything, like with the rise of the self-employed model, obviously Purple Bricks are one of the big precursors to that whole thing. Without Purple Bricks, we might not have such a growth in self-employed model. But I think nowadays there's slightly more collaboration between estate agencies. I think there's less of that hard and fast, or can't speak to them. There's still a long way to go, but I don't think they would offer training and help and advice as much as the self-employed segment seem to.
No. Cool. That's it. Chris, thank you ever so much. I really appreciate your time today. As expected, you've given out absolute gold. So if everyone has watched it to the end, they thoroughly enjoyed it. I will share your Facebook and Instagram links on the content, so people can go and check you out and reach out to you if they've got any questions and things like that.
Yeah.
But that's it. Everyone here, if you made it to the end, you may have noticed there's a free guide QR code on the top there. Scan that, and I've got a free guide that I help you do a lot of what we've discussed today with like lead gen and stuff like that. You can just follow. Hope that's useful. Chris, I will probably speak to you on the phone soon.
Yeah, no worries. Probably. I need to send you a video.
Yeah, that'll be great. My video. It's the beginning of the month.
Yeah. Oh, need to do something. Cool.
I'll speak to you soon, Chris.
Yeah, cheers, Paul. Thank you.